line here. There's absolutely here at Park Hill. There's certainly a bit of a cloud cover and immediate threat of rain as this we see our first delivery. Ned. Ball is, well, couldn't keep it out of the fence there. He dived. There's right there for all his worth, but that bat is off and 4 without loss.
That's Larry Edwards. That was short of a length outside the off something. Open the face of the bat. That's Bertil. And ran it down to a wide third man. Larry Edwards on the third man boundary was running for all his worth. Dive. Got a hand to it. Couldn't keep it back. It went over the rope. So 4 runs to Nepal and they're off and running.
So Bertel the batter. Ned to Bertel. And spanks it into the offside square of the wicket for 4 more. So Edwards being roughed up early. And this the response from Nepal.
And it immediately brings a change in the field. So I think he's going to push in a point that was short of a length, and he stood up and just hammered it through point and into the fence for 4. So back-to-back boundaries for Bertil, 8 off the first 2. So pressure very early on Ned, and he would want to make some amends. Melios just doing a bit of adjustments. So the long on has been pulled in off the boundary and the point has been placed right back on the fence.
Ned. And Bertel pulls over mid wickets. As a matter of fact, he spooned it. He's out caught by Descartes. For a moment, I thought he had the power on it, but he skied it. And Descartes came in and took a very, very simple catch.
Well, it's a very, very simple catch indeed. And just to the start of the innings, ADI was having a chat with the coach of the Windward Island Volcanoes. And he was saying he saw enough that if you give the batters the room, they are going to dispatch you. But if you could keep it close to their bodies, that they're not too comfortable with it. That was close to the body of Bertel. He was looking to pull that over mid-wicket. Didn't cue it well. Descartes at mid-wicket took a simple catch. And he has to make his way back. So early success for Ned. And that should do his confidence a world of good.
Certainly. Having gone for 2 boundaries in his first 2 deliveries. Coming back in the third delivery to pick up the wicket of Bertel, who was really looking to be in fine flowing form here at Park Hill. But we've seen the back of him. 8 for the loss of 1. And the new batsman is Anil. So we have 2 wicket keepers in the middle, and Anil and Asif.
Well, they would have to keep the bowlers out.
They'll have to keep their wicket, certainly, as Ned mops his brow at the top of his mark. And will now turn as a new batter in Anil. Settles. And Ned passes umpire Butler. And played nicely into the onside. He was well behind it. Anil off for a single. And he's immediately off the mark. 9 for the loss of 1.
So still early days yet. Trying to get to 106 for victory. And Nepal in the very first over, having 2 boundaries of the first 2 deliveries. Then losing the wicket of Bertil in the third delivery. So some 4 deliveries already and 9 for 1.
Ned. And this time, Asif, it spoons off the top of the bat for 6. Into that third man position.
Again,
and one of say maybe a lucky shot.
Very fortuitous indeed. He was in no position for the shot. He was just waving the bat, took the top edge, and with the pace of Ned, flew over third man, clearing the boundary by some distance for 6. So 15 for 1. And perhaps one who looks at it now that they're going on the advice of the coach, keep it close to their bodies.
So, an unfortunate day for Ned. He's gone for 15 thus far in his first 5 deliveries. He's picked up the wickets of Bertel. Very importantly, of course, Bertel, we know what he can do. And back in the pavilion. But quite fortuitous on the part of Asif, Muhammad Asif Sheikh. He's out. He's not out on 6. And Ned will turn at the top of his mark to bowl his final delivery of this the first over. Races in now. Post Asif. And Asif for this one peels off the outer edge. And some good work down in that third man position. Batsman, I believe, picked up one in the process. 16 for the loss of one after the first.
So it got a good stop by Larry Edwards on the boundary there. That was traveling. It peeled off the outside edge and it was really traveling. Larry Edwards, I think, going to his better hand, and was able to stop it. And in the end, 16 for 1 at the completion of the first over. So a decent over for Nepal, but lost the wicket of Bertel in the process.
Well, the Volcanoes will be pretty happy picking up the wicket of Bertel. Ned might be sparking a little. The fact that some 16 runs came off his first over. So one might say somewhat even Stevens in the first, as Redhead is going to pick up the attack from the northern end. And this tall Grenadian, stockily built, will certainly want to do as Ned did, to pick up a wicket or two. And this is first over.
So the opening pair, both Grenadians.
Both Grenadians. Here comes Redhead. And ball into Asif, and Asif plays it down into that third man position. That's Ned there under the third man fence. Gets the ball quickly back into the gloves of Dylan Douglas. And the total is on by 1 to 17 for the loss of 1. Redhead. Those broad shoulders of his. And kind of back from a fast bowler.
Yes, he's about 6'3", 6'4". Broad shoulders.
Runs away from the northern end now to bowl. This time to Anil. And punches into the mid-on position. And fielders quickly in there, but can't stop the single. One more. 18 for 1 and good running.
Larry Edwards, good. He's covered ground very quickly, but good running on the part of the batters for Nepal. He just played it with the soft hands. Edwards had to cover some grounds and they threw very easily for the single.
So Anil Kumar. He's on 1. It's 18 for the loss of 1. And Redhead at number 32 on his back.
And he's starting from just outside the 30-yard circle. It is a pretty long run.
Comes in out the bowl to Asif, and Asif works it again down to that short third man. They offer that quick single. He's run out. Is he?
Umpire Butler says not out. He was in the perfect position, but I think it's just about making his ground. And Butler very quickly, they do not have the benefit of the replay. Butler very quickly shaking his head and saying not out.
Well, let's have a look at this. It's not side on, but it looks like he might just have gotten that.
I think he just got the bat in from where we are.
Let's look at it now and a different angle. Yes,
he is in.
He's in.
So good work by Butler.
Good judgment on the part of umpire Butler as Redhead comes in out the bowl to Anil. Sa was looking to probably get this one down to the long on and got the outer portion of the bat trickle into the path of the wicketkeeper. And total remains on 19 for the loss of 1. Nepal chasing 206 for victory. And there's a little bit of a quietness around the ground. This person's just simply observing what is taking place in the middle channel.
Well, you definitely can tell where the support is coming from. And picking up a wicket here, I'm sure the crowd will erupt.
Redhead into Anil Sa. And Sa skies this one. And there is Kevin Hodge getting under it and takes a well-taken judge catch. Well done there by Calvin Hodge. Wicket number 2.
Well, perhaps I predicted it. As I said, if getting a wicket here, the crowd will come to life, and they certainly did. Hodge making very good judgment there. He was settled, he took it, and the second wicket goes down at 19 for 2.
Let's look at this replay here as Hodge settling under this one and bucking it in and conscious of the ropes behind him, but certainly did well and taking the second catch of the innings for the Winning Islands. Nepal, the 19 for 2.
Well, certainly was very mindful of the ropes, and he was very quickly turned around to see how far he was or how close he was to the ropes, and took a good catch. And it's 19 for 2 as we see Captain Rohit Padel comes out to do battle. So he has a job on his hand to pull his team out of the hole that they find themselves in after 1.5 overs.
So 19 for 2, the diminutive Rohit Padel. Very short play indeed. And mindful of the fact that he has a lot to do here if Nepal are to make their way up to that 205 for victory here this evening. They're 2-0 up in this practice series as Redhead races past the umpire Bam, and Padel flashes of one wide outside the off stump, signal wide by umpire Bam. So that's 20 for 2. Nepal in this the second over. And Redhead shaking his head a bit, saying, how could I have bowled that so wide of the off stump? Well, he looked to make amends and moves in now to bowl to the Nepalese captain. And this one's off the edge. Races into the third man fence. And a bit of fortune there for Rohit.
Definitely some fortune on the part of Captain Padel. He swatted at it, got an edge. It was wide of the keeper, Dylan Douglas, and down to the fence it was. And for 4. So at the end of over number 2, it's 24 for 2. 8 runs coming in that over. You can see Douglas there smiling and saying, hey, that one eluded me.
Yes.
And so 12 runs and over, and we can see the Scott to pick it up from the southern or road end.
So Shadrach Descartes to bowl the third over, replacing Ned from the southern end or the road end, as a child was called a while ago. Asif Hooper seems to be assisting tremendously with the whole matter of the field placing, and Captain Melius certainly giving him that opportunity off a short run. Descartes should be coming, and that's been a bit of a warm-up, so to speak, as the not-out batsman is Mohammed Asif Sheikh. He's on 9. Rohit Padel, the captain, is on 4. Descartes rolls in now to bowl this one outside the off stump. Had a bit of a fan at it. Douglas had it well taken, and total remains at 24 for 2. There's umpire that's on the shot there as Descartes now. The ball well fielded there by Descartes. Thought for a moment to flick it back onto the stumps, but I believe Rohit would have gotten back.
Well, I think it certainly would have. But good work by good work by Descartes. And
outside the off stump, and again fanning at a wide delivery. And Descartes looking at Butler as to why did you call that one a wide?
As you can see, having a quiet word there with Butler. Umpire's decision is final. One of the things we noticed in the IPL that you could have challenged the umpire, called for a review. We do not have that facility here.
And this one is punched square the wicket and beaten the field in the process. As a matter of fact, he almost, that's, who's that fielder there?
It's Pascal.
Pascal almost lost his trousers in the process. And 4 well-taken runs off the bat of Asif. Muhammad Asif, he's on to 13. It's 29 for the loss of 2 wickets. So it's Descartes. We're coming once again to bowl to Asif, and he punches this one high and hard into someone yard above, and you can see that white ball out making its way back down. A huge hit.
It was in the slot, and he picked it up beautifully, and it went sailing majestically over long on.
There you see a little boy. He's at home above the ground.
Very soon, I think that ball would be retrieved. But really was a good hit there by Asif, and the ball has been returned. And the total goes on to 35. We are in over number 3. So they are going at a good run rate here.
So we say thanks to that family. If you're watching us on VC3, well,
yes,
they're also looking at it live. But thank you ever so much. It seems as if he's done a whole lot of work with that.
Yeah, so he's standing there with hands on hip.
Here comes Descartes. And pulled. And this is one that's going to get close to the boundary. Doubts Hooper's going to pull it back. He doesn't. So Hooper not wanting to punch the covers.
A very sensible move on the part of Hooper.
Yes. And 39 for 2. So Descartes is coming in for some stick here.
For some good sticks. Some 15 runs or so. Well, at 24, it was 24 after 2. It's now 39, so 15 runs already in the over.
Descartes, final ball, the third over, and cracked square the wicket. But Pascal is there, picking it up. And the 1-run result in 40 for the loss of 2, but a very expensive over there from Descartes.
Some 16 runs coming in that over. So at the end of over number 3, 40, just going at over 13 runs and over. And the Windward Island Volcanoes would want to pull things back, because if you allow these 2, they can really run away with things.
40 for 2 after 3. And that's over 13 runs per over. 13.2 runs per over. And there you see.
Redhead will continue from the Paul Best center end.
So Redhead with his second over. I see. Wooded Islands continue with this all-pace attack. And this delivery, Anil is out caught behind. Is looking to run it down to third man. And again, keeping that ball close to the bat, I think would have accounted for that one.
Definitely, it was too close for the shot. And Coach Peters did indicate, keep it close to the batters. And you're going to give them some problem. And there it was, very close. He was looking to run it down to third man. Didn't have the room. And he was rocking the top part of his body back, getting a faint edge. Douglas took it gleefully, 40 for 3. Windward's Island Volcano was in a similar position, Eddie, if you can recall.
Yes.
And here it is. You look at moving the top part of the body, trying to get back. He was really cramped for room.
And off the bottom edge, straight into the gloves of wicketkeeper David Douglas. So there goes Asif, 40 for 3. And our production team seems to be having a bit of a fun with that replay.
Yes, that's certainly. But that was a little too close to him for that shot. So Jora makes his way out to do battle. Sandeep Jora. And Redhead now picking up 2 scalps.
Well, Jura has not had a good series. He went for a first ball duck in the first, and I believe he scored 1 in the second. So really and truly want to make amends. It is the third and final T20 as Redhead bowls, and Jura gets one that peels off the outside edge down to short third man. He's off the mark, and it's 41 for the loss of 3. Jura. There you see Rohit Padel, very diminutive player indeed. He's the captain of this Nepal team and has shown us in the last T20 that he certainly can really play his shots. Arms akimbo as he watches Redhead making his way back to the top of his mark. And it's all stockily built. Grenadian will now turn and moves in. That gentle breeze that's flown across the Parker playing field now. Balls to Padel. And Padel works one into that short gully position. And fielder there looks like Captain Melias.
Certainly Melias just toying around with it.
Still 41 for the loss of 3. Had a bit of a rain early on. Had a 20 minutes interruption to play, but no reduction in the overs. With an Island Volcanoes 205 all out of the allotted 20. And thus far in this the 4th over, 3.3 overs is 41 for the loss of 3. As Redhead outside that 30-yard circle. So he has a very long run up and breaks into it now. To go past umpire Bam to Padel, and Padel punches it into the offside. And there again is Captain Melias. So captain, find him captain in the field.
Action replay of the previous delivery.
Without a doubt.
So a pretty tidy over so far by Redhead.
Redhead bustles in now to bowl to Padel. And Padel works this nicely off the pads. And as a matter of fact, down to that long on position. Gets 1. And total now on to 42. He's on to 4. He's on to 5, sorry. 42 for the loss of 3. So that's Ned. He didn't have the best of first overs. But Redhead, who's really and truly made an impression, comes in again this time to bowl. And Jura is in defense, working it backward on the pitch and feeling his bowling there. That's Redhead with a good over.
A very good over and a successful over on the part of Redhead and Windward Island Volcanoes. So at the end of over number 4, 42. 42 going at just over 10 runs and over. Say 10.5. And we see immediately now the pace attack from the southern end has been pulled out. And we can see Kavem Hodge with his left arm spin, who is going to pick it up from this end.
Well, it's been an all-pace attack, but as we are about to see this 5th over, Kavem Hodge being pulled into the attack by Captain Melias. And of course, this is an opportunity for Sundeep Jura. As I said early on, not having the best series thus far. A delivery that is driven into the offside finds Asi Cooper in the way. That's Padel. And quickly get it back to Kavem Hodge. Hodge. Again to Padel. And Padel drives again into the path of Cooper in that cover position.
But he should have done better with that. It was a low full toss. And he drove it firmly and straight to Asif Hooper, who fielded well. And there is no run.
This delivery was pulling, and well, a good attempt down there. Looks like Descarte. That's gone for 6.
I think he swung that from outside the off stump.
Yes. And from that whitish long on position. And there you see Descarte again on his knees, retrieving the ball. And he'll walk around the covers. But in the end, shot there, earning Nepal and the captain 6 more runs. 48 for the loss of 3. Hodge, the Rohit, this time outside the off stump, and he works it fine into that backward point fence. That's 4 well taken runs.
Certainly well played there by Rohit. Yeah, he recognized Hodge. The previous delivery was tossed up. He was swung over wideish mid wicket. He got 6. Hodge just shortening his length outside the off stump, and Podell was able to cut it through backward point, beating backward point in Pascal and down to defense of 4. So back-to-back boundaries here for Podell. So pressure on Hodge immediately.
Well, the 50 is up in a jiffy. It's 52 of 4.4 overs. 4 overs and 4 balls. Nepal on the attack. This one is driven into the cover region. Good work there by Asif Hooper. Dive into his right. And naturally bet on the left side, but showing that he's also good going to his right. And avoiding any addition to the total. 52 for the loss of 3. The final delivery here from Gavin Hodge. And the work down to third man. Throw comes in very quickly, but no threat at all.
I think it's a weak throw on the part of Larry Edwards. And they were through comfortably for that single. Some 11 runs coming in that over.
So that's the end of the 5th over. 53 for the loss of 3. And Waddell has responded in a big way here for Nepal. They were under a bit of a pressure, having lost those 2 quick wickets. But Waddell, one may say, with those lusty blows and in that last over, certainly seeing to the Windward Islands is not going to be an easy road.
Well, Asif Hooper, who has been pretty outstanding in the field thus far, he's going to pick it up from the Paul Best center end, the northern end of the ground. So it's now an all-spin attack on the part of Windward Islands Volcanoes.
Asif Hooper. Ball head baited. And
it is not meant to
a
couple of TDL.
Good cameo.
Couple of TDL.
Comes in the post to Podell. Podell sweeps and finds Kazipem Hodge in the way.
Hodge, a good mover in the field, I would say. Covers ground very quickly.
Well, to the Nepal captain, and he strokes it down to long on. And Larry Edwards is down there, making somewhat of a meal out of that one, but he got it back in.
And pretty quickly, and deter them from taking a single.
That should have been a single. Jura, a not-out batsman. And Jura goes square. Could only find the field in that point position. And there is no run. Hooper again to Jura. That one is well up. And had to come down it very quickly indeed. Punches it eventually into the offside. There was Descartes. And total remains on 54 for the loss of 3. So a good over thus far being bowled here by Asif Hooper. The baited ball man, if I can say that, as he comes in now to bowl to Jura. Jura is forcing this one from outside the off stump into the onside. And good footwork down there on the long on fence, and the throw comes in finally over the head of Douglas. But there was this redhead backing it up, and 2 more added to the total.
And that was sweetly played off the back foot. It was timed sweetly, and it really raced down there. But extremely good work on the part of Larry Edwards. He has really been to the wars in the last few overs and saving his team 2 runs.
Yes, good work. Showing off his football skills, if one can say that. As you have a look at it, if I had a replay, but here comes Hooper. And Jura is, well, missing that one. So too is Douglas. And it'll be interesting to see whether or not he got an edge onto it. Let's see.
I think
any. Yeah, Yes, it's a buy.
Buys.
Yes, it's a buy. 2 buys, as a matter of fact. So total is on by 2 to 58 for the loss of 3. So the end of over number 6. And if you recall, after 6 overs, the Winner Islands, they were 56 for the loss of no wickets. Nepal, they're 58 for 3.
Well, according to Duckworth Lewis, at this stage, Nepal should have been 68.
So they're 10 runs behind on the Duckworth Lewis. Should we have an interruption by rain at this point in time? That is certainly not in the offing. As you see Jura on screen there at the non-striker's end. Hodge is going to continue from the southern end. Jura seems to be a little winded there. He had a lot of running to do. The last delivery. And Hodge for the Winner Islands into bold, and here comes Hodge once again and worked into the onside. 2 fielders convert on it, and good return coming in there. 1 bounce sitting the stumps, but Captain Podell was firmly in his crease, had his bat firmly planted, and no chance of a run out there, Charlo.
So it's 60 now for 3, but a good return, and really Podell making his ground, and so he was in no danger whatsoever. And umpire, but by not far away, having his eyes on things. I think that was Salazano coming off the boundary.
Here comes Hodge. And the Jura poking us one outside the off stump, asking the question.
Nice Podell.
But then the umpire indicated that you also moved towards the ball. So can't be called a wide. And this one is punched into the backward point position. And picked up there by Pascal. 1 more to the total. It's now 61 for the loss of 3. Nepal in this, the 7th over. Here comes Captain Hodge and driven. Fielder comes around in that extra cover position and gets a good, strong return into the gloves of Douglas. But 1 more added in the interim. 62 now for the loss of 3. Hodge and Jura punches square again. Point comes in. That's backward point comes into play once again. Pascal, and 1 more added to the total. It's now on to 63 for 3.
So 63 for 3. Pass score according to Duckworth Lewis should be 75. So the win was keeping their fingers on the lid and putting a bit of pressure on Nepal. These 2 will have other ideas. And getting among the wickets here would put a bit more pressure on Nepal in relation to Duckworth Lewis.
Well, but the Islands will continue. Asif Hooper from the northern end.
And that's a huge hit. Huge hit. That went to the top of the hills. And we see Podell favoring that shot. Had a good swat and it went sailing. .69. So out goes the replacement ball. So playing at Park Hill certainly would have to have a good bit of replacement balls, Eddie.
Well, certainly there's a lot of vegetation around the ground, as you'll notice in the distance. This is a farming community. There are a lot of banana trees and, of course, mango and coconut trees and a lot of shrub around. And the moment you clear the ground, that's where you're going to end up.
And that one was on the hilltop. And so, have a replacement ball already selected. Asif Hooper will continue to bowl to Padel, who is on 26.
Talk about mango trees. It is mango season. I don't know how much of it you've eaten thus far.
Well, I have had quite a bit of it, and I will endeavor to do my best during the season.
Well, same here. Certainly it's a season that I look forward to here in St. Vincent and the Grenadines, those sweet mangoes. And this one is neatly worked there by Padel, getting himself another boundary, 4 more runs. And there is Asif Hooper leading a bit of runs here at this point in time.
Well, I think I was looking at red head. I'd love to see that replay. But it was neatly played by Padel. He goes on to 30, really leading the charge. He's now 73 for 3.
And now long on comes into play. Pascal picking it up, tossing it in, back to Hooper. Who will now this time bowl to Jura. He's not up on 5. Padel has moved on to 31 as we see this one again, bringing long on into play. And Jura is on to 675 now for the loss of 3. So keeping a fairly good scoring rate is Nepal. Outside the off stump, and that one cramped him a bit as he looked to go square of the wickets. Asif Hooper as Jura fiddles a bit to the bill there. This one, Padel hits high. He might bury the out caught. No, it clears the fence. Good shot in the end there from Padel.
Clearing the boundary, picking up 6. So Hooper under pressure. Over number 8 comes to an end. And Nepal just about it. They should have been around 82 at this particular stage. 81 for 3 and really keeping in the hunt.
Well, Captain Rohit Padel, he's leading from the front. He's 37 not out. It'd be interesting to know how many balls he faced thus far, because he's really and truly raced to 37.
Yes, and he has hit a couple of 6s in that as well. But there's going to be a change in bowling at the southern end, and we can see Larry Edwards now coming into the attack with Kavem Hodge being taken out of the attack.
So Edwards, who enjoyed some success in the first game. I think he picked up about 3 scalps in the first game.
3 for 20 off his 4.
So Captain Melis calling him in at this point in time as Rohit Padel certainly looking to take the Winter Island bowlers to the cleaners, and he's been successful thus far. 81 for the loss of 3. This time we'll be bowling to Sandeep Jura. He's not up on 6, has been more seated than his captain, more quiet. And this delivery works it off the pads. And we'll pick up a single in the process. Mid-wicket Peter coming around and cleaning things up for the Winter Islands, getting the return quickly back into the gloves of Dylan Douglas. Edwards. Right at number 4. Comes in now to bowl to Padel, and Padel going to square the wicket there. And this captain Melius ever present in that point position. No run resulting. And this one works nicely down to that whitish long on position. Fielder comes in, and just one wide to Nepal. Total it's now 83 for the loss of 3. Larry Edwards now to Jura. Jura gets one that stands up outside the off stump and gets it down to that short third man position quickly off for a single, and adding to his total, he's now on to 8. So Jura is doing it in the singles. Meanwhile, his captain, Badel, who's there on screen, really and truly looking to clear the boundaries often as possible or get close to the ropes. This delivery. He's back in the crease outside the off stump and looks at the umpire as if to say, well, that should have been a wide.
But has no interest in it.
Edwards, Rohit drives and picked up quickly there by Edwards, who rifled the return back to Douglas. No harm done in the end. That's the end of over number 9. It's 84 for the loss of 3.
And par total should have been 89. So they're just behind by some 5 runs. Still have wickets in hand.
So it's going to be Asif Hooper who will continue.
You see Shadrach Descartes is there. They're having a conversation. It looks like Descartes is going to pick it up from the Paul Best center end.
Very well, because I was just about to say Hooper came in for a bit of stick in his previous over, and himself along with Descartes and the captain having a discussion. And it was decided Descartes should be given the opportunity to bowl his 10th over. Shadrach Descartes. Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego.
It seems to be very biblical. Having a good knowledge of the Bible.
Here comes Descartes. Passes umpire Bam. The ball to Jura. Jura pushes into the offside. It's off a quick single, and had he struck there, would have been run outs.
That would have been gone by the distance.
Yeah, but all he needed to do was to get it into the hands of Descartes. He was standing over the wicket there. He went for the stumps and missed it completely. And an opportunity going back in there for the Winner Islands.
So
look at it.
Descartes
There's no way that the player's in the frame.
Yes. And that should have been lobbed back to Descartes. Yes. And who would have taken, who was in the best position for that run out. There he was. And player now coming into the frame.
Descartes and well, going down the wicket there, missing it completely. Was Badel. I think he was beaten a bit by the pace taken off there by Descartes. He's a lively right-arm medium pacer. Over the wicket now to bowl to Padel. And the delivery that has him pushing outside the off stump. We'll get 1 and 1 on the one it will be. Total advances to 86 for the loss of 3. 10th over being bowled. In this practice T20 being played here at the Parker playing field.
I think the Windward Island was around 86 at that point. I think it was about 86 for 5.
So true. So Descartes started and stopped. And then goes back to the top of the mark and now turns around and races in out the ball to Jura. Jura finds that one outside the off stump. And
got a bottom edge onto that.
A little lucky there. There's Wikiki Douglas. Dylan Douglas had a good innings, made what, 56?
56.
Batting for the Winner Islands, Volcanoes.
28 deliveries, 4 4s, 5 6s.
Really took the attack to the Nepalese bowlers. This delivery, Jura punches down to at mid-off position. Asif Hooper is there, and only 1 run will result. So, Descartes. There's Captain Millis on your screen. And Descartes now goes to Padel. Padel visits into that whitish mid-wicket position. They offer a single, so it's now 88 for the loss of 3 wickets. And this the 10th over.
So at the similar stage, the Windward Island Volcanoes, they were 86 for 5. And here it is, at a corresponding stage. Nepal 87 for 3.
Well, I believe it's 88 for 3.
Should be, well, I think it should be 88 for 3. So 8.8.
So Lariedo's continuing from the southern end. And this one is going to go way over the bowler's head. As a matter of fact, I lost sight of it completely. That's gone miles.
Well, certainly Padel is taking it to the bowlers. And so a lot will depend on Padel here. And he's really nailing it.
And once again, we see the kids in that house just above us, not on screen, but they being assisting in the trying to retrieve the ball, and he's done so. Ball is back with us. As we see Rohit and Jura getting a bit of a liquid water being brought out. We also see some, what looks like some fresh gloves coming out for Captain. No, that's for Jura. So 94 for the loss of 3 in this, the 11th over. And there you see the family in that house that is right close to the ground, and they're showing us a bottle of ginger wine, not ginger wine, but Gonzalez wine, a locally made wine. And this one is good work in the end by Asi Fupa. So 94 for the 96 for the loss of 3.
And Padel goes on to 48.
We saw some Gonzalez wine being shown there from the house as well.
If you have very good eyes, Eddie.
It was shown on the screen. It was shown on the screen. Maybe we can go up and have a little bit after the game, Jalo.
Well, perhaps what is it? What mixture it would be?
Well, Larry Edwards has a different mixture in the middle. Comes in now to bowl to Padel. And Padel was looking to work one wide outside the leg stump. And second wide now by umpire Butler.
97. 3.
Edwards again
Beautifully played.
on the leg side, but good work in the deep. What looks like, is it
Redhead
or is it Redhead?
Redhead.
So a lanky figure of Redhead saving what possibly could have been 4 runs.
So Padel goes on to 49.
He's pet to 49 indeed. He didn't truly put his team in a position where they can possibly pass this 206 targets. As Jura, high score of the series thus far. And this one finds Asi Fupa in that short third man position and gets a single. He goes on to 11.99 for the loss of 3. So that's Jura. This one, he punches square the wickets, and sweeper comes around in that cover position. And I guess return quickly back into the arms of Larry Edwards. So
that's his
the
50.
Right, and that's the 100.
And the 100 comes off. So 50 coming off, 32 deliveries for Padel, 3 4s, 4 6s.
This time, Jura punches onto the onside. Long on comes in. And another single added. 101 for 3. That's the end of over number 11. And Nepal showing intent and showing that they are not taking their eyes off the prize. Certainly, of course, should they continue at the scoring rate, should surpass the 205, Charlotte.
Definitely, I think if they continue, they should be around that area. But certainly, Captain Padel playing a very sensible innings. You can see him working the ball around, picking up the 1s and 2s. When they're in the slot, he goes big. So good 50 off some 32 deliveries, 3 4s, 4 6s, and really put some pressure on the bowler. But you see, there's a changing bowling at the far end, the Paul Best center end. The over number 12 coming up. It looks like Darren Ned. coming back into the attack. His first over went for 16.
Well, he has quite naturally looked to make amends. And this the 12th over. This time we'll be bowling to Jura. And a delivery that Jura forces into the offside. Fielder coming in there was immediately looking to get it back in. That's Larry Edwards, but there was no cover at the wicket. He decided just to sensibly kept it for himself.
Well, he held on to it. He held on to it, and I think that was common sense in the end.
Certainly. 102 for the loss of 3. Ned, the Podell, and well, good attempt there to his right by wicketkeeper Douglas, but couldn't keep it in. And I waited to the signal, I believe.
Inside edge.
Yes, it is. But it was a good effort by wicketkeeper Douglas. Got the glove onto it, but just can hold on. And total is now 104 for the loss of 3 in this the 12th over. Ned pulls to Podell, and the Podell finds feeling that
the opposing captain.
Yes, Melius.
Melius.
So it's still 105 for 3. Melius having a bit of a smile.
Just 101 run remaining.
As a matter of fact, he's toying around in the outfield there, Melius. As Ned comes in and bowls to Podell. Podell places down to long on. The fielder comes off the fence and discards it. Gets a good return back in there to Douglas on their bunks. And it's now 105 for 3.
Should be 106.
I believe there was a bit of an adjustment to the total, so 105. Ned bowling a better second over to Jura. Jura was looking to heat this over the bowler's head, but got a bit of an outside edge and it's trickled down to that backward square leg position. Gavin Hodges down there on your screen and tossed it back in. 1 run resulting in 106 now for the loss of 3. Ned. Bustling run up as he comes in on bowls to Podell, and Podell swats this one straight into the arms of Pascal. That's the wicket that the Windward Islands needed. And there goes the Nepalese captain, gone for 53, 106 for 4.
Well, 106 for 4. The wicket that I think the Windward Island Volcanoes wanted. Short delivery. I think it was above his eye line. He didn't have no control. Swatted it out to deep mid-wicket. Pascal took a comfortable catch. And the disappointed Podell has to make his way back. But jubilation in the camp of Windward Island Volcanoes as they regroup and try to now strategize in terms of placing a bit more pressure on Nepal.
106 for the loss of 4.
So 106 for 4. And Windward's just getting that prize scalp of Captain Ruitt. And let's see who comes out. Gulshan comes out to do battle. So he joined Jura, who is on 14. And Gulshan, he's yet to get off the mark. He's yet to face a delivery. As over number 12 came to an end with that final delivery of Ned's over.
Yes, so successful over there for Ned after 16 in the first over. Coming back in a big way to pick up the wicket of the Nepal captain. So 106 for the loss of 4. And now Gulshan is there. This one, batsmen are off for another run. 107, and Gulshan will now have the opportunity to take his first knock.
Yeah, so we see Hodge coming back into the attack. And Jura getting an inside edge out to square leg, getting a single. And he goes on to 14. And Gulshan, the left-hander, would now take strike. So Windward Island Volcanoes would want to press on and see if they can make some further inroads into Nepal's batting.
Kavem Hodge, who took a very good catch early on. Didn't do as well as you would have loved to with the bat. Certainly like to do it with the ball. Comes in on both to Gulshan. Gulshan pulls this one. He's going to be out caught. Simple catch. Taken there on the long on fence. And he stands
like
in.
Ned.
It is Ned. So wicket number 5 going down. A dejected Gulshan making his way back into the pavilion.
Well, it was short of a length. He rocked on the back foot and he just picked out the deep mid wicket to perfection. He didn't have to move. He just right into his laps. He took it gleefully, just threw it back rather nonchalantly, and Gulshan has to make his way back for a golden duck.
So gone without scoring. And Nepal 107 for 5.
And how quickly things have changed.
Certainly.
107 for 3. It's now 107 for 5.
So the new batsman coming in is Sumpal. And Sumpal would have shown in the first game that he can really thump it.
Yes, he can bat.
Only because Nepal being 130 odd for the loss of 6, chasing 196 with some 4 overs to go, and along with Ivy. They tore this Winning Islands bowling apart and
took the faster bowlers to the cleaners.
Yes, and got to that target with 3 or 4 balls to spare. With 5 balls to spare, as a matter of fact. They got picture of the very first ball of the last over. So Sampal Kami takes his guard and looks around.
Well, and interestingly, Sampal Kami, he was out for this game, but the injury to
Irie,
he came back into the attack. Chopped that was almost went into his stumps, past the keeper. They gone for 1, they will come back for 2, but he can count his lucky stars that almost went into the off stump.
So living a little dangerously there, Sampal, but the gods would have smiled with him. I'd say you're having an opportunity. Let's see what you can make of it. This delivery. Again, he's out caught this time. And well taken there by wicketkeeper Douglas.
Yeah, it is a brilliant piece of keeping there by Dylan Douglas. It's again Sampal looking to run it down to third man. Got that edge, top edge, and Douglas standing up, took it gleefully. And it's celebration in the camp of the Windward Island Volcanoes. Sampal goes back for 2.
Wow. So 106, 109 for the loss of 6. As the Sampal makes his way back in. And a new batter will come in here for Nepal. Just awaiting Sampal as you look at the replay. And this one off the upside edge.
Again, a little too close to him for that shot.
Yes. And
looks like Karan making his way out.
It is Karan. As we have a look at this replay. And Douglas, you have to certainly commend him for that catch. So 109 for the loss of 6.
And has certainly have lost 3 wickets for 2 runs.
So the pressure is on.
And how quickly things have changed.
So Casey Karan.
So Hodge picked up 2 wickets thus far in the over.
And well, we've not seen the sunshine for the last 40 minutes thereabouts, but there's been absolutely no impact on what's happening in the middle there. As there we see a replay once again of Sampal. But there's Karan.
So we would note that a number of the Nepal's batters like running that ball down to third man.
Karan wrapped on the pad is a loud appeal. And the umpire Butler not interested.
I think he's indicating height.
Yes.
Douglas, Hodge in disbelief, but umpire Butler, I think Karan is just showing that he has an inside edge.
Well,
umpire Butler was unmoved.
Let's see if we can have a look at that replay. 109 for 6 as Karan nudging a bit here and there. Now settles. And ball is pushed into the offside. That's the end of the 13th over.
Successful one.
It is.
109-6. And really things have changed dramatically.
Let's have a look at this replay. As Hodge comes in there to Karan. Let's see if he did get a bit of a tickle onto it. And it would appear as such as it. Let's see. Yes. Off the inside edge of the bat.
Inside edge into the top of the pad.
Yes, that's what happened there.
Yes.
So Butler certainly
perfect position.
On top of things.
Very good umpiring here on the part of Dayton Butler. He's an experienced campaigner.
So we're going to have
Javadine Brown. He's going to pick it up from the Paul Best center end. And it's Jora who would be on strike. He's on 15.
So Brown having his first game here today for the Volcanoes.